They'll be calling me royalty.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to IRC Season 11 Tier 2 Round 2 at Azerbaijan. This is going to be a very fun race. Obviously, joining me in the comms box is a new face. Actually, it is Abhilash or Abby. And the streamer is not me this week. Do not worry. It is Sir SSJ Assassin. So you guys are in great hands today, considering a few complaints from last weekend around. But anyways, the drivers have been patiently waiting. So let's quickly move on to the track if we do have that. In the meanwhile, Abhilash, first time doing comments for IRC. What are your thoughts? What do you expect for this race that will be coming up with the Tier 2 boys?
Thank you so much, Simply. So, what do I expect from Baku? From Baku, what I expect is a lot of overtakes and a lot of racing, especially down the straights. Turn one and turn three are going to be important points you will want to look out for because those points are hot for overtakes. Absolutely. And I'm going to see how everyone takes turn eight. That will be truly fun to watch. So that's what my belief is. Let's see how the race goes. I hope it goes well, and I do predict there will be a couple of safety cars. What about you?
Yeah, safety cars are a definite given in Baku, considering how close the walls are, to the drivers. Not a lot of margin for error unless you pull off a Hamilton 2021 by going wide into turn one. Then you have a lot of space, but otherwise, you don't. So it is going to be very difficult for these guys to keep it on track, try not to get damaged, because even on the long straight that we have, the long start finish straight that we have just before that, high speed S's that can give you damage if you do not take the corners exactly to the point, because there's a very thick Tech Pro barrier right on the outside of that. And of course, you do have the opportunity of hitting the wall as you are trying to hit the apex while you're at it. So just that is something the drivers will have to look out for. And while we talk about that, let's quickly move on to the track guide. Actually, I think we do have the track guide prepared. So let's go on to that. And Abhilash, why don't you take us through the track?
So we're here in the country of Azerbaijan at the Baku city circuit. We've got 20 corners around this 3.7-mile long circuit, and we've got what is arguably one of the longest straights on the F1 calendar currently. This has a race lap holder is of Charles Leclerc in real life. And in 2016, with its debut as a European Grand Prix, we had the fastest ever speed recorded by an F1 car, Valtteri Bottas, in the Williams with a speed of 378 kilometers per hour. What we'll see is into the two DRS zones, turn one and turn three. Amazing opportunities for overtaking. And you've got two different detection points as well. So if you lose yourself in turn one, you've got plenty more to redeem in turn three. But turn one, watch out for that turn. Your tires will be cold, so keep hitting them up. I feel we're going to see a lot of action down the DRS straights.
Yeah, I mean, very long DRS straights. I mean, because of the FIA regulations that start finish straights, it has been restricted to just 2 kilometers, because that's the maximum length the FIA allows anyways. But if the FIA didn't allow it, it would come up to around 3.5 kilometers if they did allow it. So boo FIA. Anyways, a very long straight. Top speeds we're expecting over 350 kilometers per hour just before the breaking point. If you get the slipstream, then who knows, man? It could be even more than that, along with the DRS, of course. So yeah, a lot of action coming up there. Castle section, of course, something that they do have to take care of. And yeah, I mean, in general, this track doesn't have a lot of grip outside, and a very cool shot right there, actually, in the background, that slow-mo shot. But yeah, a lot of action, of course, will be coming up. A lot of safety cars as well. A lot of strategies that can also play out here. Some of the drivers, talking to them, they were considering just putting on the hards and just trying to adapt to the safety cars that will come through. Some of them were thinking a bit more aggressive, so trying to start on the softs, and some of them are like, I'll just do your medium to hard strategy, which is the safest option. But what do you think will suffice over here? What do you think the driver should really be trying to do in this situation? To obviously pull out whatever the maximum that they can out of the race.
So what I think is that there can be an alternative strategy I've been thinking out. Given this is Baku and there's a huge risk that you'll have a safety car, some people might take the gamble and start on softs, make up positions, and eventually wait for a safety car, then go on to hards. But that is a huge gamble you're playing because softs will not hold up on this track for very long. You'll be suffering from tire degradation soon enough and you'll be getting graining. And Pirelli have brought their softest compounds, if I'm not wrong, the C5, the C4, and the C3 here. The soft is definitely not a race tire, so it'll be interesting to see if anyone does start on the tire. They're definitely expecting a safety car then.
I guess so. Then softs, according to what you said, would be the best option to start on. Then, am I correct?
If there's a safety car, but the better gamble would be starting on the mediums and going then
Yeah.
onto the hards.
All
Okay, we've
right. Okay.
got our first casualty, it seems, from the
Oh,
qualifying
oh,
session.
two back to back in the same corner. Who is that McLaren? I think that is Mr. Singh. So there was Big B who went into the wall there, and Mr. Singh said, "You know what? I like what he did there." Followed him right into the barriers. And this kind of reminds me of, I think it was last year, 2023, or might have been 2022, where exactly on this track, Tsunoda went into the wall, and then Carlos Sainz decided to follow him. Luckily, he didn't hit the barrier. He went off wide, but then still ruined his qualifying lap. And this is similar to what these guys have done. And I think Mr. Singh almost collected a Haas as well there. So, yeah, quite reminiscent of what happened just some time back.
So we've got two front wings already donated, and I believe they'll be making their way back to the pit box to replace their front wing. We've got quite a few cars out on the track right now on their out laps. Few cars are leaving the pits, and few people who have lovingly donated the front wings, they're going back in to fix them and are going to be coming out for another out lap. Let's see who will be the first to start their flying lap. We're looking at Whipple in the Alpine on the straight. He's got his DRS wide open, and currently there's Mercedes in the garage. Vicious in the AlphaTauri. He's 17, no laps collected. He's going to be starting his flying lap right now as we see him to sector 1. What do you feel? What is going to be the changing sector here, Sim?
Changing sector, I think sector 2 has to be, that is where you have over a second and a half to gain if you nail it. But then again, you can lose the same second and a half if you don't nail it. You also have the chance of, putting your car into the wall, retiring very easily. So, a lot to play for in sector 2. Sector 1 and sector 3 are just, a little bit wider open. So, yeah, so it won't be the end of the day for them for sure if, they don't hit the wall there at least.
That's very rightly said, Simply. Now, I want to hear your thoughts about the setup. Personally, what I think is that those who will think that they want to gain all that time in sector 1 and 3, they will go for a lower bit of rear so that they can get that speed. What about you?
Lower bit of rear? Forget about lower bit of rear. These guys have gone very aggressive in their setups, not just the rear, but in general, their cars have been tuned to the straight line. I mean, there's already a lot of straight line in this game. So what usually drivers do is add on a bit of downforce to make sure that, their cars can at least corner a bit rather than just straight line everywhere, because you don't need straight line in Monaco. You don't need straight line in a lot of tracks that we have also coming up in the calendar, such as Imola, etc. But these guys have, let's just go on to a lower downforce setup. Might as well capitalize on that. Whipple with a 44, never mind. Vicious with a 41.966. That is, I would say, at least a second and a half of the ideal lap time that the guys really should be doing. But it is not the end of the day. The lap times are just starting to roll in now. Vettel Bihari Vajpayee next across the line, 2 seconds off of Vicious with a 43. That will be almost a 44. So yeah, as I was saying earlier, very okay. Southwick ready, 41.8, the 10th and a half above on Vicious.
I feel we're going to see much faster lap times as they drop.
Absolutely. But yeah, as I was saying, these guys have gone for, quite low down. For some guys are running 20 on the front and 15 on the rear their wings. Some people are running even lower than that. I think someone might be running 15 on the front and 12 on the rear or something along those lines. So these guys really want that straight line. Obviously, to compensate for having too much straight line, they have reduced their their ride height, which obviously results in more downforce because of the ground effect cars. So, yeah, it's a good trade-off that they have prepared because anyways, you don't need a lot of ride height because you're not, abusing the curbs over here because they're all really slippery and way too high anyways. So anyways, your car's going to bottom. So, I think a lot of straight line overtakes are bound to happen, but a lot of mishaps in the corners.
Yeah, And there we see BK19 going third. 8/10 of the pace currently, a McLaren CTN23. Let's see how he goes through Sector 3. I do not think this will be a time that will contend within the top 5. Forget that. I don't think this will contend very close. Let's see where he goes. He goes up to 7th. Yes, there will be a better lap needed to get into the top 5. And we've got a Haas which is pitting currently. Most of the cars are going to pit right now, I hope. No one's going to do a fast, fast, or fast, low, fast. Because track evolution is going to be amazing. Oh. We've got a first casualty of the session. A McLaren into the barriers, turn 1. They've lost their front left.
Yeah,
Who
that
is
is
it?
a bit.
That's
That's
Mr.
Mr.
Singh.
Singh.
He's
Yeah.
donated his front left tire now. Very generous and philanthropic.
Yeah, well, it was his front wing earlier, and now he's like, you know what? Why leave you? Take the whole car with you along with the tires. So that is an unfortunate end to Mr. Singh's session. It has not been the best of qualifyings for him so far, but hey, at least he gets to start in the back. So there's one thing on that. So he doesn't have to be in the middle of all of the chaos. While talking about starting from the back, we have Jose Hero, who's actually gotten a qualifying ban just into the first round of this season. So for those of you wondering why he's not out, it's because of that. He's serving his qualifying ban. He is allowed 1 lap outside just to confirm his setup is set. But yeah, it's just an out lap. If he does any timed lap, or if he even begins a timed lap, there will be a bigger penalty coming his way. So yeah, that is it.
I don't see any fast times coming currently, but oh! I was going to say vicious, but commentator's curse strikes again. I see. Before saying it, so I assume that right now he'll be just recharging and ensuring that he gets that battery back.
No,
Which
he's
time
still going.
He is. Let's see
You
what
can
he
look
can
at
do
the
then.
battery trailing on the bottom.
Yeah,
Still
I
going
was
for it.
surprised he's still going for it. Let's see if he improves on his time with that mishap. He's got a lot more pace in the second sector that he can pick up. And I think
Certainly,
he's one of the contenders for pole position. What about you?
definitely. I mean, Vicious. He's a tier 4 champion in IRC. So let's not take anything away from him here. He has literally won the championship in IRC, and I think he's hungry for more. He'll be going for more for sure. Vicious came into the pits anyway, so he abandoned the lap. Okay, all right. So he's not going to continue. But yeah, if he does think that he has a lot of time to gain in the second sector, then yeah, then I guess the pole could be his, since there's only a 10th.5 separating him and Satvik Reddy.
I think that's a very calculated decision, and I think he can make it to pole given the difference that I saw just before he pitted. I was seeing Satvik Reddy on an out lap getting some heat into his tires because that straight, my god, can make you lose all the heat you've got into your tires. And trust me, you don't want to do that because turn 1 can be both a horror as well as something great for you. Daniel Ricciardo in 2017 versus Lewis Hamilton in 2021. That's all I'll say.
All right, great references there, Avi. You're right. So we have 7.5 minutes left in qualifying. Pretty much, most of the drivers who are still in the qualifying who have not retired have set in the lap. E-Dog and Big B. Oh my god, okay, the comment. Forget that, it's a streamer's curse. Because the second they switch over, they're making some sort of mistake that's almost putting them into the wall there. So, yeah, that's.
So let's have a look at our top 5 in qualifying currently. We've got Satvik Reddy with a 141.8. Vicious, 1.5 tenths behind. BK19 in the Red Bull, 8 tenths behind. So we've got the top 3 covered by 1 second, but the top 2 covered by just 1.5 tenths. Williams, 4th. Rocky in the Williams is out. He's in 4th currently. I do think he'll be in the top 10 unless there's a lot of track evolution. And we've got a mix of almost all the teams in the top 10, and the only team that has 2 cars in the top 10 is actually none of them. The closest that two teams have, as far as I can see, is Haas with Vettel Bihari Vajpayee 2 seconds off the pace in 7th, and we've got Aishwarya Raikkonen in 11th.
Yeah, the Haas guys actually their second race in this season, they have been very consistent. Last time around, last week in Australia, they showed amazing amounts of pace. At one point, running third and fourth in the race for quite a long time. They did have a little bit of a mishap with the strategy, I guess. They tried to capitalize on pitting again for medium tires, but they just lost way too many positions to try and recover them back. But yeah, I guess it is what it is. We have hopes on them that I think they will be some contenders for the WCC going ahead, because those guys, as I said, have been really consistent, really quick. If they can get the strategies right, they're for sure there in the top 5, giving everyone a very, very long day.
I think they've got another contender with them. I think I not noticed them, but we've got two Alfa Romeos in the top 10 right now. E-Dog is 7th, and of course we've got one at pole. And last race, their performance was amazing. They both made some pretty good points for the team, and they're leading the WCC right now. So they could be a strong contender for it as well. PK19 on an outlap in his RB19. So let's see how he does this, and let's see what kind of a timing does he set. Does he set the screens purple like the driver has in real life as well? I sure do hope so, and I think we're going to see faster.
Oh!
Commentator's curse strikes again, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, well, I hope nothing happens to Vicious now. He is in the final sector with 4.5 minutes remaining. The drivers just being collected left, right, and center to this track. Vicious coming into the second last corner. I mean, obviously, it will be a corner. The other corners are just a minor inconvenience to these cars. So, yeah, I guess you could say that was the second last corner. This is the last corner, and these are just minor inconveniences. Anyways, pedal to the metal here, being very close to the wall. They're almost hitting the wall, but still living to see another day with the DRS turned on a very long straight. Will be soon coming across the lane, or he is not. He's abandoned another lap. What is going on with Vicious? Just cannot seem to get the lap put together, can he?
What do you think? We've got about 3.5 minutes left on the clock. Do you think we're going to see some team strats here? Vicious and Wizard of Oz both have amazing time setup. So, can it be that one of them goes out just on an outlap to give the other a toe through the straight? Because we've seen that happen in real life as well. Do you think that's going to take place here?
I mean, is that a doubt? I don't think that is ever in question. There is, yeah. I mean, that's all. That's all I can think of saying right now, to be honest.
So the top three currently in the pits, and we've got two AlphaTauris, Wizard of Oz in second on the front row, and another AlphaTauri Vicious in third, and Satvik Reddy still holds the fastest time, is on provisional pole with a 141.8. The closest to provisional pole is just half a tenth of provisional pole. So maybe another lap might fix that, but the front row is pretty good as well if you know how to race from there. Of course, there's a huge play of strategies, and a strategy can make or break your race here because, well, we know how much strategy can affect a race weekend here at Baku. We've seen plenty of examples in real life as well as in IRC.
Certainly, they have to. Oh, okay. That's the Ferrari of mist. Almost doing a Leclerc. His front wing's gone with 2.5 minutes left. His qualifying is over. By the time he can crawl back to the pits, he's just not going to have enough time to go back outside. That is an unfortunate end to his qualifying. Aishwarya Raikkonen, I think he's on an outlap, considering his light is flashing, or he's just gotten done with a hot lap. So he's just gotten done 2.5 seconds away from pole in P11. Everyone is on softs. Both the Alpha Tauris have come out right behind each other. I think Vicious wants to give Wizard a slipstream, even though Vicious is behind Wizard. So not sure how that is going to work out. If anything, Vicious should be the one getting the the slipstream here, because in my opinion he is once again, in my opinion, he is the first driver, because he has obviously shown more consistent races and more consistent pace in the races in comparison to Wizard. But hey, if that's how they want to play it out, absolutely up to them. If anything is going to spice it up for us, because there's two AlphaTauris right there, and it's a great mix in the top five, or even the actually, let's just consider the top seven or top eight, because all of those guys were there competing for P1 last week. So yeah, the top eight. So eight drivers just there playing it out for P1, and in that there's two AlphaTauris right next to each other. If they can hook off a lap and secure a one and two, I think they might be able to carry it out until the end.
I think what they're playing here is that you get Visitor Falls on pole, let's say, and you've got a 1-3 starting, assuming there's no other changes, and assuming if Vicious improves his time but not his position, in the race they can defend off the Alfa Romeo, and thus they can take a 1-2 from there. It's a classic defensive play. That's what my opinion is, at least. And they're starting their lap right now. Let's see how it goes. So we've got currently two cars on a flying lap, two cars on an out lap. The rest are all in the pits, or they have donated something or the other and they have left currently. We'll see them in the race then. Let's see how this lap goes.
Yeah, Abhilash, why don't you take us through this lap, which is almost halfway done already?
Yeah, let's go through Vicious then. How does he take this turn? Fairly good. I feel he could have braked a little bit later, but again, no risks because you've got a teammate behind you who you're giving the toe to. That's the important thing of this lap, I believe. Now, Sector 2, he has got to take it very carefully. The flag has fallen, and anyone across the line now will take the checkered flag. We've also got ABD28 in 7th in a Mercedes. Let's see how he takes that. Took the castle section very nicely there. Amazing. Well done. Let's see how he takes the rest of the lap, which is essentially just a couple of corners to go. Turn 15. Let's see how this goes then. Very cleanly taken, no risks at all. I think he will improve his time, but not his position. We've only got some more to go. Let's see.
Yeah, let's see indeed, because I just saw if what the top right, where you can see his name and the sector and everything, is accurate, he's improving by 1.2 seconds on his lap. With the DRS turned on, Vicious coming across the line. Can he snatch away the pole from Satvik Reddy? Yes, he can, with a 40.6. Wizard of Oz, his teammate, coming across the line with the P2. AlphaTauri with a 1 and 2. Red Bull in the wall. APD20, the only other driver who I think can possibly beat this. He's 7.5 tenths down, and unless he turns on the turbochargers through this straight over here, he will not be able to take the pole away from the AlphaTauri boys. So an AlphaTauri 1 and 2 is for sure secured at this point, but we'll continue watching what ABD can do. He comes across the line just now and goes up of 2 positions, I believe. But yeah, that is qualifying done and dusted. AlphaTauri taking away 1 and 2. Satyak Reddy in P3 will have to do a lot of work. And what is that we're seeing? 5-place grid penalty for Vicious in the AlphaTauri. That's gonna knock him down to where APD is. All of those guys are gonna get pushed up 1 position. So if anything, it's a lot of hard work for Wizard of Oz to do now, because he has to hold up the whole grid so his teammate can catch back up as soon as possible.
I assume there's going to be different strategies for both of them given that penalty. So one may be going for a medium starting tire, one may go for a hard, or if they're just about wanting to find the limit, they can start on the soft. But again, it's a huge risk that they're going to take. This was a qualifying that was down to the wire, absolutely. I was not expecting that AlphaTauris would take 1-2. Was sad for the penalty to happen, but it was intense. I believe the race is going to be even more intense. What about you, Simply?
No doubt at all. It is a very, very tense qualifying, of course, that's coming up. And yeah, I mean, it was a tense qualifying. That's what I wanted to say. So it was a tense qualifying, and there's going to be a lot coming up in the race. And I think we've gone. Okay, yeah, we'll be right back in just a few minutes. I think we're dealing with some issues, guys. Apologies for that.
So, fun fact, let's talk a little bit about what happened this year in Baku. Do you know that there was a curse in Baku, simply? Are you aware of it?
I'm not aware of it. No.
So there was a curse that since the Baku City Circuit became the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, or rather,
Hmm.
ever since it has been on the F1 calendar, no driver has been the one to win twice here. While this year certainly was something where Max Verstappen broke all the records, do you know who broke the record of not winning more than once on the Baku City Circuit?
No. No idea.
It was Sergio Perez with his last win of the season, and the moment that we got Sergio Perez's last win of the season, and he broke the record. He's been the person to win the circuit in this race twice in 2021 as well as in 2023. We've got a formation lap going. First through eighth is entirely on mediums. The McLaren and the Mercedes in ninth and 16th with those 807 in Mercedes. They're starting on the hard, and so is the Ferrari all the way back. They're all trying to get some heat into their tires. Trust me, you will need that tire to be on a banker the moment you start there. You can make up a lot of positions into turn one and easily lose them into turn two. So you've got to be extremely careful. I've seen a lot of first lap incidents here, and I certainly hope we're going to have a lot of overtakes here, which I'm sure of. Once the DRS gets activated, turn one and turn three are just going to be hubs for overtaking.
Yeah. Formation lap. It. I don't think it's the right strategy for them to go on to the mediums, to be honest, because the hards, yes, I mean, of course, I think the medium, if they are starting on mediums, then the strategy would be something along the lines of, mediums to hards, because there's no way you can do mediums to softs. So they'll be doing around 13, 14 laps on the mediums, then going on to the hards. Why I say it isn't a good strategy is because the hards, it is better to use it in the first stint because heavier car, a lot of fuel load. The tires can easily take up more beating in comparison to the mediums, because on the first stint with the heavy car and all of that and all of this aggressive weaving, they'll be dead, by the end of the stint. Whereas if you go on to hards, they won't really be as beaten up as compared to the mediums. And then, of course, your second stint, car is lighter, track is more grippier. You know, it's just a good combination, and then of course you can end the race on faster times.
I think what will really make sense here is the time management skills of our drivers as they approach the grid currently. We've got only three drivers on the hards, so definitely there's something else playing into the conditions. The temperature of the track does seem to be close to what it is usually, and we've got a lot of cars on the grid already. I believe that is one of the last cars approaching. No, I am wrong there. That is the AlphaTauri approaching on his pole grid box.
Yeah, well, the drivers are eventually going to come to their grid box, and they are okay. Well, they clearly can't get the braking right since they are being disqualified. They're not actually being disqualified from anything. They're just being reset on their grid because they were either too far ahead or too far behind. Any of that. Anyways, the lights are coming on out. Then 5 red lights.
It's
Lights out,
lights out
and
and away we
not away we go. We do not go. What?
safety
Safety
cars.
car? What is happening? Now we go, but Mr. Singh's here just went far before and there's a safety car. No, this has to be a restart. This is grounds for a restart.
Yes, absolutely. This is definitely a restart. I don't
This,
think there's anything
yep.
else about it.
Yeah, there is nothing else about it. We're definitely going to restart, and we're just going to go off air for a few minutes to try and sort this issue out. In the meanwhile, you guys also take a break, go fresh up on snacks, and come back. And yeah, once we are back, of course, we'll be going for 26 or 29, something along those lines.
26
26 laps
laps.
at Baku. Straight up racing action coming up very soon. All right, we are back. Apologies for the silence for a few minutes there. We had to restart the lobby because of the obvious formation lap issues. Now we have removed the formation lap, so no such issues. Drivers will still have the same 1 minute, but then they should not forget to take the setups, because now, because of the lobby, of course, being restarted, they will not have the setups, but we will be going in just a very short while. So, Abhilash, do you think now at least they will have a good start at least to begin with?
Well, I sure hope so. That's what we're all hoping for, a normal start. Of course, an exciting one. That's what we want. But for now, let's keep it to a normal start as our drivers get ready. So, what are you expecting into turn one? Simply?
Chaos for sure. I think what we saw a small glimpse of just before it restarted, I think that will definitely happen in just a moment's time here. Uh, but yeah, I think if you're in the back of the grid like you are, for example, Jose, or someone who retired earlier on, I think starting from the back will be a best option. Wizard of Oz, and I think the unfair 5 grid penalty that Vicious got has been cleared, so he will be starting from P1. So it's still an AlphaTauri 1 and 2. So yeah, those guys will be trying to run away with it, and of course they will be kind of safer unless someone right behind them just sends it with sends it completely unnecessarily. Okay, I think we have the fire lights going any second now. Lights out, and not away we go again. No safety car, away we go now. Wishes off to, oh my god, virtual safety car, right?
Virtual safety car then. It's still an
Oh, this
AlphaTauri 1
collision
2.
between Rossi and BK19. BK19 getting put into the wall by Rossi under virtual safety car. The virtual safety car shouldn't even be out.
5
BK getting a
second
5 second
penalty.
penalty from Vipul. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. If what is this game, Codemasters? What is this game, EA? Please fix your stuff. How can this go? We couldn't even have a proper lights out because of the safety car. Nirvana having to give away the positions, a lot of tussle and stuff going on. Okay, virtual safety car is gone. So finally away we go for racing. Satvik Reddy and BK19 battling it out. Satvik Reddy should make the move quite easily because there was damage for BK19 by Rossi in the Williams, who was right behind him. And someone locking up quite hard. I think it was Satvik who locked up quite hard going into that corner there. And still living to see another day. BK19 picking up further damage. Aishwarya Raikkonen and Whipple having a bit of a kerfuffle here. Whipple, by the looks of it, has spun out. Jose Hero also clearing out Whipple. And oh, okay, he is on one end of the wall. Has he taken up another driver with him by any chance, or is it just him? No, it is just him,
It's
and he
just him.
almost hits that wall. And oh, collision there between Mr. Singh and Parth. Mr. Singh just not bothering to give way for him, and another virtual safety car.
We've got an Alpine retiring, and we've got an Alpine in 20th place. One of the cars, if I'm not wrong, I'm not sure who, has gone into the runoff area at turn 8. That's definitely better than taking the wall, but his race is pretty much over unless he gets a full safety car and the grid can bunch up. What I feel is the most disadvantaged driver right now is Wizard of Oz.
Oh,
Drive-through penalty for Mr. Singh speeding under the virtual safety car.
multiple
That's what
drivers,
one
not
of the
just him.
harshest penalty.
Yeah, Big B, Mr. Singh, and Wizard of Oz, I think, picking up drive-throughs. Can we confirm? Oh, no,
Drive-throughs.
never mind. Big B has a 5 seconds, but Mr. Singh and Wizard of Oz both have drive-throughs. Horrible for the both of them.
Horrible for the AlphaTauri. They had a 1-2, which was going to help them a lot in the World Constructors Championship. But now, the tables have turned. I don't know how this race is going to play out. Mr. Singh, 5-second penalty once again for speeding in the pit lane from race control. Therefore, you are having a look at everything as we go through it. The stewards will be taking a look at all the incidents through that.
Yeah,
But
it was certainly not ideal for Mr. Singh there because already he has to serve a drive-through, and now he has a 5 seconds. Oh, looks like by the looks of it, he instead of serving the drive-through because he has not cleared the drive-through. Okay, so that's a further time waste for him, and he's already 30 seconds behind everyone. Fury has retired from this race. Another virtual safety car, and that car should not be parked up there. That has caused further collisions. Aishwarya Raikkonen, what a name, might have picked up some damage because of Big B just stopping to try and not hit the car. Then that car is right in the middle of the track. That is.
so we've got a Williams and an Alpine out of the race, and someone who's 30 seconds behind. So essentially, they're out of the race unless another circumstance happens. We're still in virtual safety car conditions, so no overtaking. You've got a time delta to go through. Big B's
Oh.
got a drive-through penalty, speeding under the virtual safety car.
And so does Deadshot. Both of them have drive-throughs. Rossi and ABD going side by side momentarily. Rossi ahead of ABD. DRS is enabled, so we can see some overtakes coming through. Wizard has to serve a drive-through at the end of this lap, otherwise he will be disqualified from this race. Not what he wants, and ABD misses his braking point, hitting Rossi on the rear, sends him spinning, and Rossi hitting the wall with his front wing and the rear wing, adding to the adding salt to the wounds right there. Not an ideal situation for him. Vettel Bihari Vajpayee will absolutely take it up into P5 once again. Parth having a bit of a moment there on traction, almost losing his car, having to concede off to E-Dog, will have the DRS on him.
What we will see right now is a very, very different strategy to go through, as we've got 4 cars that have to serve their drive-throughs. What tire will they go on to? Wizard, of course, who I was talking about, has started on the medium tire. Will he go on to the hard tire? Will he make a gamble and go for the soft and later pit onto the hard? Hoping for another safety car, which, by the looks of it right now, we will certainly have a safety car, but we've only had virtual safety cars so far. No hope for a full safety car. Let's hope to get a little bit more racing to it. But I'm really excited to see what tire he does go on. We're now on board with Parth, who's going through the castle section, which really interests me about this track. One side you've got all the modern stuff, and one side you've got the old city of Azerbaijan from all the way the time back from the 90s. It's like you're traveling in time almost. One place huge, you've got 4 cars going abreast, and one place you can't even stick one car through the castle section. We've got 2 fastest laps, both taken by the AlphaTauris. Now we've got one from Alfa Romeo with 1:45.09. Let's see. Wizard of Oz has not served his drive-through penalty yet. He will have to serve it this lap, I suppose.
Yes, he's confident in it. He has to serve the drive-through. And you can see Rossi on the rear of Titan. Titan still representing Central. Lad, we've already won the Regions Cup. You can get rid of that C now. But yeah, I guess if he wants to stick to it and show for the rest of the year that Central won the Regions Cup in IRC, then sure, go for it. Deadshot serving his drive-through this lap. Just getting rid of that as quickly as we can possibly. Rossi still trying to follow close behind Titan. Dirt air is quite bad on this circuit, so it's not the easiest to follow. The car does feel really weird at times when you are behind, other cars. And lucky for Rossi that only one car is ahead of him in a very short distance. If there were multiple cars, let's just say, then yeah, it would have been a very, very bad day for him because that dirt air just makes the car close to undrivable. We can also see the position changes from the start. Jose Hero up 10 positions, starting in P20, up to P10 already, 1.5 seconds behind Aishwarya Raikkonen. And let me tell you something about Jose. He has that fighting spirit, does not want to give up on positions. Parth has retired from this race, and that is a full course caution. That is your safety car coming out. And what is to retire? Usually, you don't see retirements there. Maybe broken front wings, but not retirements. And this is chaos. No, this is not good for Wizard of Oz. He should have not gone into the pits. Why? Well, because under the safety car, you cannot serve your drive-through. That's one thing. And yeah, that he might be forced to do a pit stop here? Yeah, he's being forced to do a pit stop right here. That drive-through is not cleared, and when the safety car does restart, he will be forced to serve his drive-through. Otherwise, he can't. Otherwise, he'll be disqualified. So it is a horrible situation for Wizard right now.
He could have pitted a lap earlier, but I don't think he saw the safety car coming. Had he pitted a lap earlier, the safety car would have actually benefited him, given it would have bunched up the grid. But we're not going to see that happen right now, definitely. He has still got to serve his drive-through penalty. But we've got 21 more laps of action to go, and under a safety car, we can have the entire grid bunch up. Now let's look. Jose Hero once again, as Simply said, he's up now 12 position. His driving is impeccable, to say the least, and he's got the spirit of a lion. He'll fight, and it'll be down to the wire. We've got a Mercedes in second position in ABD 28. Wizard of Oz is currently in third, but I don't think he's going to hold that for very long, given the fact he's got a drive-through penalty to serve. The Alfa Romeo, Satvik Reddy, is in fourth. A Ferrari in fifth. His teammate has retired from the race. And we've got the Haas of Vettel Bihari Vajpayee, one position down. But if I talk about the one who's really lost a lot, you can't see it in numbers. In numbers, it's Rossi, who's gone down 4 positions to 11th, but it's actually Wizard of Oz, who has absolutely been smothered by all the safety cars that we've been having, and just sheer bad luck so far with the drive-throughs.
Exactly. It is a very, very long day for Wizard of Oz, because that drive-through is still something he has to serve, and he's already behind the safety car. He's spit. Yes, he's in P3, but yeah, that drive-through is really going to put him all the way, behind even Mr. Singh, because the pack's going to be all bunched up. So long day for Wizard of Oz, and clearly not his luckiest day, as you mentioned.
And as we now go under the safety car for another lap around it, what do you think? How long will we have a safety car period now, Simply?
I think maybe one more lap if that's required, because Mr. Singh is 30 something seconds behind Big B, who himself is in the last sector, just coming up to the final set of corners. So I think maybe another lap is definitely required here for everyone to catch up, and then only I guess the safety car will go back into the pits.
I think that's a very good prediction of yours, and I actually agree with that. I see one lap or maybe two, so we get the grid a little bit closer. So for now, let's read out who we've got in the top 5. We've got 2 AlphaTauris, 1 Mercedes, 1 Alfa Romeo, and 1 Ferrari. And rest of the grid, all the way up until 11th or 10th, is quite close together. The top 5 and 6 are very cohesive, very close. Let's see how this race goes then. We usually get notification about when the safety car is going to end when the third sector begins. And is that Mr. Singh I see when people are entering the second sector?
Yep.
He's just on the last straight.
Yep. That is indeed Mr. Singh, who is giving it full beans right now to try and catch up to the pack in front of him. The pack is in third sector. He is casually chilling in the first sector right now. So yeah, a lot of catch up for Mr. Singh to do. But yeah, that was an interesting shot, wasn't it? The rest of the pack is on one corner, and then the rest of them are just yeah.
We're gonna need a clip of that.
Absolutely. Anyways, the safety car period now. The leaders especially, what do you think is going through their mind right now? Because Wizard of Oz, of course, in a bad situation. Vicious, of course, won't have his backbone, his teammate there with him to help him out. ABD, very aggressive. He's going to try and get that P1 away from Vicious as quick.
Safety car in this lap. Safety car is in this lap,
that
ladies and gentlemen.
Is very last moment, because they're off the main straight. I'm pretty sure nobody was.
And they're all
bunching
up.
Happen. Oh,
okay, we've got another collision.
Big crash in the back, and the leaders have restarted. And oh my god, that is, I think Vipul going into the barriers there. This is a dead shot having to avoid all of the cars on the straight, and the safety car is out again. It didn't even restart and it's out again. Oh no, wait, it's gone. What?
It's
What? The
gone.
safety car's on track. What is happening?
Okay, we've gone racing again then.
But the safety car is out on track and it's also driving at full beans. What is happening?
Because of the shortage of cars in the race, Burn My Lander will also join right now.
I think that's it, because look, oh my god, massive collision in the back right here. Satvik ready 5 seconds. Wouldn't be able to pause and unpause. Perhaps maybe then we'll see the safety car, because what is going on? No, the safety car still not showing up. It's out there on the track. These guys have slowed down for it. Yeah, their screens are flashing yellow, which means the safety car is out. It's just that we can't see it. This game, I mean, it started off so well. How can one screw up the game this bad as they go on? Update after update, they've removed the grip. They have completely ruined the game's physics. What is going on? I'm completely out of words over here, Abhi.
Absolutely. So we're seeing safety car lights flashing everywhere except for the commentators. So it's time for us to use our observation skills and go by it. So we are under safety car periods right now, which means Wizard of Oz still is getting more and more tense, because he's got less laps to serve the drive-through penalty, come out, and then grab up to the position. Hopefully get a couple of points, and if he gets lucky, a podium. We've got a couple of penalties dispensed out, but out of all of this, you know what? Mr. Singh has caught up a little bit. He's just 7 seconds. Oh, is that Mr. Singh or is that Sita? It is Mr. Singh.
Oh.
I was just about saying he's caught up, but Commentator's curse strikes again, and he's got 13 seconds off. Please, stewards can notify, the race director rather can notify if the car is going to come. Okay, 5-second penalty for missed in the Ferrari. Ignored a yellow flag.
1 sec, Abhi. I'm really sorry to cut you off here. But are they restarting now? Because the safety cars just got... Why did it come out for a lap then? What even is happening? I mean, it is a bit screwed up. Okay, I guess now we can get a proper safety car restart with a few more cars gone. I guess game wasn't satisfied with who we had. Vicious does the restart, pulls off an amazing gap from ABD, 7/10 of a second. Someone's going into the pits. That is Satvik Reddy going off into the pits. Wizard of Oz is disqualified for not serving his drive-through, and his car hopefully does not cause any chaos. It's not ghosting, so the drivers have to avoid it. And that was almost a collision between Rossi and Jose Hero. His car's not ghosted there. Someone's car's just stopped on the corner. What is even happening in this game? I mean, I am so confused. I'm out of words here as to how one company can screw up this game this badly. Okay, no safety cars for now, but yeah, Satvik Reddy and Vipul serving whatever they had to serve in the pits, or I think they might have been swapping out their wings for better ones, for undamaged ones, I guess. But yeah, I mean, someone has to someone has to see this from Codemaster. Someone please send it, because this cannot stick. Someone locks up in front of Titan. That will be Rossi, I believe, who locks up, almost hitting the barrier there while trying to chase down Mist, who's in P3. But yeah, I think Mist has a drive-through or 5 seconds. He has a 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane, I'm gonna assume that is. But yeah, this will definitely be looked at from the coordinators and the admins to see what will be done about this round. But in the meanwhile, we continue on. Rossi then still fighting for that P3 right on the rear of Mist. Will he be able to make a move in the coming up corners?
Well, depends, but he certainly has made quite a lot of places up. And there's one more benefactor from this entire thing. If you see, the Mercedes are now running second with ABG 28 and Jose Hero 07 in 6th. So they have really made the most of this entire situation, and they're doing great. Mr. Singh has retired from the session. He's in 12th and he has retired. Vipul in 14th, Satvik Reddy is in 13th. The Alfa Romeo that started on the second row is now 13th. That's how far down he's gone. He's 20 seconds behind the next car. That's Big B, which is the Aston Martin. The Haas are running in 9th and 10th. They're still getting some points. But the biggest benefit anyone has got from all this are the Mercedes cars. In fact, I believe if ABD28 is skills given, he can take the race to win. But Vicious is not going to let go of it that easily. I think we've got a little bit of action there as the time continues to go down. Hopefully they make it clean, and I'm sure they will. They are amazing racers. What do you think? Where will the move come, Simply?
Well, I'm concerned if the game will even let them drive right now. Instead of just dishing
Safety
out
car.
safety
We've
cars
got a
after
safety
safety
cars.
cars. Yeah, that's why. I mean, if the game keeps dishing out safety cars and keep messing up, then I don't know if these guys will drive. I mean, yes, they're continuing on for the fact that the results for some for if the coordinators do decide that the results will stand, then they will. So that's what they're continuing on for. But otherwise, it's really demoralizing as a driver. I mean, I'm looking at the tier 2 chat right now, and yeah, those guys are genuinely pissed, and they are very frustrated. uh, yeah, it's all comes down to peer-to-peer connection, and yeah, this is not what he like to see, especially after an amazing safety car. Sorry, amazing race we had last week. This is not what we want to see, really.
Australia was truly one of a kind. I liked that race a lot. It was full of action and overall a pretty good race to clip and highlight and put together. But what I'm really excited to see is how Mercedes can take care of this opportunity because it's come to their hands on a silver platter. The other two teams in strong positions have been disadvantaged. Haas is running 9th and 10th. AlphaTauri has lost one car, and Mercedes are the only ones running in a very strong position right now, and that is the McLaren of C Titan into the pits right now. Does he have he does not have a penalty to serve. I'm assuming he's going to go on to the hard compound tire.
Yeah, and changing his wing by the looks of it, maybe.
Yeah. So the C3 goes on for the Aston Martin as well as the McLaren. So we've got two cars in the pit, three cars in the pit lane, the Ferrari as well. So I believe that's Mist who served his 5-second penalty.
And Big B gets 5 seconds. Yeah, one driver takes it away, one driver takes it in. Big B 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane as Mist also cleared his. Not bad. Mist is still in P8 right behind the Haas guys though. Yeah, they're not gonna make it a very easy day for Mist to get past those. I mean, they are very tough competitors, and they're gonna pretty much go side by side everywhere to become a roadblock. So Mist cannot find any way at all past them.
All through this, the second Mercedes has got up to 4th position. What do you think? A double Mercedes podium, is it possible?
I won't count it out. I mean, Rossi is also there, so technically a Mercedes engined car is still there in the top 3 right now. But if you're talking about the actual team Mercedes, then if Jose can keep it consistent, not make any mistakes, and of course not take any big risks, then I think yeah, he could be there in the top 3. Considering APD has a good shot at contending with Vicious for that P1. I think if ABD can secure that P1 and Jose can secure the P3, then yeah, baby.
I think we're going to
could be a
have
good haul of
safety car.
points.
Really sorry to cut you off there, Simply. I think when I have the safety car in this lap, I'm not quite sure, but looks like the grid, most of them have bunched up. The Aston Martin has to serve a 5-second penalty farther than ever, but I think we'll have the safety car in this lap. Most of the grid is very close together. The entire grid, if my maths is not very far off, the safety car is in this lap. I've got it from the stewards. Then let's see how this restart is taken, and they're all bunching up. Let's hope it goes safely. No debris, no collisions, and so far nothing. The AlphaTauri is getting some heat into its tires. We're looking from C Titan's TV pod onto ABD, and now Vicious has taken the restart all the way to the line. And now we're racing once again here in Baku. Who will take it into turn 1? The Williams is contending very close, and he's got a little bit of a collision there.
Yeah,
What
that
have we
was
got
with
there?
ABD. that was with APD. APD was loose, I believe, on the exit of turn 1. All put Rossi right into the wall there. Rossi will definitely have some damage on him, and that might be, or well, that definitely will be a penalty coming APD's way, because that just cannot stick, putting another driver into the wall. So he will have to, I think, create a 5 to 10 seconds gap right behind him, and that's of course not being helped with the fact that Vicious is right in front of him. So a lot of work to do from APD side here while we watch the midfield, guys. Satvik Reddy and Titan 23 over here. Titan getting a bit loose on the exit. Apologies, Satvik getting a bit loose on the exit, but still keeping it around the outside and making a move done. Whereas Titan having to defend off from a dead shot right behind him in P11. This is a great fight that's brewing out between the midfield guys right here. Around 5 to 6 drivers involved in this battle. Meanwhile, up ahead, missed around half a second off of both the Haas guys. And Vettel Bihari Vajpayee only 3 tenths off of Jose. So top 6 in contention for the podium positions while they are at it. Deadshot coming into the second last corner over here, and yeah, just keeping it through, keeping it still, not hitting anyone so far, and a clean getaway on this restart.
So racing has been amazing after the restart. The grid is very cohesive, very bunched up together there we see. And we've got a Red Bull on the podium. Nirvana is on the oh, Rossi's back on the podium, as we can see. Little bit of a fight going there. Let's see who prevails going into turn 1. I think it will be the Williams. He's got a clear advantage through there. But now we have Josehiro coming up yet again on the Red Bull. Will he be able to take that position again and contend for the podium? Let's see what's up with the leaders, although there is a significant gap there. The real fight is between 3rd, 4th and 5th here, who are just about within a second of each other. Once DRS gets enabled again, we're on board the Ferrari, just about on the back of the Alfa Romeo. Let's see how they take it into this turn. Very clear, no wiggle so far, so going well. The castle section is going to come up soon enough, just a couple of more turns to go. And as they go down this, they'll be going into probably the most tricky part of the circuit. And there's an overtake there. Is that a little bit of contact I see on the front left? Does Satvik Reddy have damage? We'll have to wait and see if it's minor. I don't think he'll pit, because right now pitting would be a danger and we would absolutely lose out. There's nothing more. Okay, we've got a Haas down in 9th. All the way from 7th through 9th. Aishwarya Raikkonen is down in 9th. Mist is up to 8th. Big B is in running in last. He's got a 5-second penalty to contend as well. Whipple is in 12th. And the top 3 remain the same as we saw earlier. It's Vicious from ABD, from Rossi, who are all together within 3 seconds of time. The most action we've got seeing right now, we've got Alpine and McLaren fighting it out there on the straight, and that is a little bit of contact I see. DRS has been enabled, but I think that Alpine has lost half of its front wing there, and if I'm not wrong, that's a McLaren as well with half of its front wing gone.
Not the half, the whole of the front wing on Titan is gone. No wonder Whipple was struggling a bit to get past him there. I think Titan's struggling to go into the pits as well. But he has eventually made it in. Oh, very close there between Rossi and APD. Very, very close to contact. Somehow Rossi makes it stick. And clearly, can we have a look at the ERS levels of Rossi? Because I think he has been dumping it. Yes, he has. He is on 30%, whereas the grade around him, APD, on 80%. So clearly, Rossi trying too much to get past these guys very, very quickly by using up the ERS, which is not good in the long run, because especially on a track like this, you need the ERS, you need the extra horsepower that you get. Slight collision between Satvik and Vettel Bihari Vajpayee, more like a tire tap between each other, so nothing that is illegal through there. But yeah, Satvik is also on a charge moving up forward, and of course along with Rossi. But yeah, Rossi now kind of stuck in a deadlock, not really gaining too much on Vicious there, because not a lot of ERS left to dump.
Down the straight, it would be amazing to have a look at the onboard of Rossi and have a look at his ERS levels as he goes through that. as well as ABD28. But I would like to see how does Rossi cope through it. I think he has a lower battery level and there's a bit of a collision between Joe07. He's lost 2 positions after this, but I think it will be strong. Down the straight, let's see what is Rossi's ERS like. Let's have a look. Is he strong enough or will he be able to make it prevail? Doesn't look like an overtaking opportunity for me. ABD is not going to be able to take that anytime soon. Oh, we've got a Haas in the pit lane. It's Atal Bihari Vajpayee. And I believe he is going to be switching his tires. And at this point, I would believe it would be the medium tire. Aishwarya Raikkonen, 5-second penalty, speeding in the pit lane. My bad, that was Aishwarya Raikkonen in the pit lane. And so is the other Haas of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. He's in the pit lane. Then again, so both the Haasas in the pit lane. One has got a 5-second penalty for speeding. I don't think the other will, given the speed at which they came in. Oh, very close. 3 abreast through that turn almost. As Joe07 is in 6th. He has got to pull up his socks and push all the way to the end, given his driving nature and his absolute willpower. I am confident that he can make it happen. An amazing driver, lots of potential, and of course a lot of talent underneath.
Certainly, he has a long way to go still. However, 12 laps left in this race. He can take a bit of a chill pill, but not too much, because he of course needs to clear up this traffic of Satvik and Nirvana, who are holding up quite a bit, because only after he gets past them can he go up to APD, help his teammate out. And that is Whipple, who has DNF'd right outside of the castle section, has clearly lost traction there. Will there be a safety car? I think definitely not, because it would have been up by now, so that is good. So I think it might be straight racing action until the end, unless there's a massive pile-up somewhere, maybe in turn 1, or if there is a massive pile-up in the castle section. Meanwhile, Satvik Reddy completely spamming his ERS with the DRS, getting past Nirvana, going into turn 1, or even before going into turn 1. Great.
That's amazing, absolutely. Oh, and we've got contact to there. I think that's a loss of a front wing entirely. Let's have a look. No, it is not actually. It's just a tire tap. Looked much harder there. But let's have a look. Then we've got the Haas running in 10th and 11th. Both the Aston Martins in 8th and 9th. Nirvana is down to 6th. We've got the Mercedes of ABD into 3rd. Rossi is in 2nd and he is contending with Vicious right now, under a second. He's got within him. Can he keep this time? What are his ERS levels? If we can have a look at that, it would be great insights for us. Okay, so Vicious has got half of his battery charged up, but Rossi has his ERS very low. He's got to charge that up if he wants any chance of fighting, but he's got to stay within a second as well. So he gets the DRS, the ERS, as well as the slipstream. But I don't think that's going to happen given the current time between them as well as the ERS levels. He's got to wait this out. Okay, we've got caution in sector 2, and that's Aston Martin out, but it's Ghosted. It's Deadshot who has DNF. So we've got currently quite a lot of the great DNF, and we're running the top 11 on board with Satvik Reddy on the back of ABD. Is he trying to take that podium place? And yes, he does. ABD has been disconnected, so if he had been racing, it wouldn't have been that easy there.
Yeah, definitely not. ABD not want to give up positions just like that. But yeah, he has to come back into the way. Oh, at least his AI is not giving up. AI has the DRS, and it's trying to
AI certainly is giving it beans all the way through the end. AI wants to give the beans. AI is taken on the character of the driver, at least for some part. We've got an AlphaTauri in the pits. That is Vicious. Which tire has he fit on? Let's have a look at that.
Yeah, we've had a good look at it.
They're all gone medium on. I'm surprised no one is going for the softs, but given that there's 10 laps left, they don't want to take the risk. Unless there's another safety car, your softs will run out within 5 laps, and that's Vicious into the wall. I think that's a front wing gone, ladies and gentlemen.
Not every time they go off wide is the front wing gone. He just went off into the runoff, and I think everything is intact for him.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, we've got another
hero in the wall, and this is where maybe the front wing is gone. Oh no, even his front wing is intact.
His front wing
APD
safe
is
as well.
retired from this race. What is happening? APD has retired coming on the exit of the castle section. How is he pulled up there and retired? I mean, he might have locked up or had done something. Oh, okay. His game has bugged. This is a continuation from what happened from last week. So let me give you a small explanation as to how AI has screwed up once again. Well, what's happened here is APD's taken control, or rather APD got disconnected, but then his AI didn't take over, so it's gone straight into the walls, and yeah, that's the end of his race. That is...
The race was going great for Mercedes, but right now all seems that it is very bleak. SimplyYT back in the lead of the race. A 9-lap hole hard against Rossi's 11-lap hole hard, who's currently in the pits. What tire is he going to change to from 12 laps? I believe it's going to be a medium. No one so far has played the soft gamble apart from Vipul, who is not in the race anymore. If we see a late safety car, will the ones at the back play the soft gamble? Oh, Rossi's gone onto the soft. He's played the gamble. He's hoping for a late safety car because those softs are not going to last for very long. You're going to get good pace for 3 or 4 laps, but they're going to drop like a stone. And there's the... And he's already got a little bit of grip loss there. The cold tires, he's got to get them a little bit more warmed up. He's just on the gearbox of Rossi then. Big B in the pits as well, playing the soft. So we've got 2 cars on the soft. We have got 5 cars on the medium, and we've got 3 cars on the hard tire. So quite a lot of positions to play for. Will anyone else take the gamble and go on to softs, or will they want to manage their tires all the way through this?
There is no point taking a gamble right now, to be honest. It's just better to keep on going until the end, although it will be very hard for Satvik and Mist because their tires are 9 and 7 laps old respectively, and yeah, it just does not make sense to continue on those tires because they should go about 16, 17 laps. Going for around 10 laps will be a big stretch right now for them, so a lot of tire management should be in place from the both of them, because anyways Vicious is 16 seconds behind. They can play the slow game out a bit here, and it's fine even if they lose a bit of time, because by the looks of it, Rossi and Vicious are going to have a heated battle coming up just ahead of us. Rossi with the DRS pulls out to the inside and gets past Vicious, and yeah, Rossi is out of his ERS. So Vicious has, by the looks of his dash, around 60-something% of his ERS left. So he for sure can spend up a little bit, not too much, just a little bit, take the DRS and go on until the end here. Yeah, he has the DRS, he's turned off the ERS, but he just is going to decide to stick back a bit, not worth to continue on from here. Still following with Vicious here. The only 2 cars that are very close to each other on the track are Vicious and Rossi fighting it out for P3, although they seem to be gaining some time on the cars ahead here, and yeah, I mean, if they can continue on like this, then maybe they have a chance of catching up to the drivers ahead. If not, I think it might be the P3 what they will have to settle for here.
Yeah, this is SJ here again. I think I should be filling in for Abby, who's just headed out due to real life commitments. And yes, P3, yeah, it is definitely within the realms of possibility. But then we've got a very rapid Satvik ready, who's currently leading the race. Possibly trying to go long on this hard tire strat. And I don't know if you guys had noticed before itself, but then he's missing a front right end plate. So he's been blitzing through the field from the start of the race on a broken front wing. And yeah, only God knows how he's managing to pull off such a drive out there. But yeah, kudos to him. And it's not just DRS overtakes, it's into these extremely tight sections like this corner, for example, and the next one as well, where I saw him make 2-3 overtakes. So yeah, brilliant stuff displayed by Satvik Reddy over here. And I think he's already made a pit stop. He's made 2 pit stops already, so he doesn't have to make a pit stop. But there we go, missed. That's the Ferrari of Mist making a mistake into that corner. That corner has caught out quite a few drivers before. We've seen Deadshot, Path, and I guess 1 or 2 or more drivers DNF in the same corner. But we got another Ferrari, another driver being a victim there. Not been a very friendly corner there, has it been? Simply.
But the whole track has not been friendly to these guys. Yeah, just an unfortunate day for us. A lot of retirements thanks to, just drivers not paying attention to the cars around them, the surroundings around them, and of course the game also not helping them out. ABD, etc. Oh, Satvik Reddy is pitting. Why is he pit?
Oh no. It was actually a very sketchy call to make, if you ask me. Oh, hold on, we've got another screw up by Titan 23, so that's another McLaren having major skill issue today. Not as much as his teammate though, but at least he's still on the track and driving in P8 and points. So yeah, at least he has to make sure that he doesn't get any damage on his front wing and just push his car at least to push his car to the finish line and just finish in P8. Yeah.
I think the best way to sum that up would be
a Nigel Mansell-esque performance?
Performance, yes.
I don't know if performance is the right word. Nigel Mansell-esque show. Yes, show.
Yes, there you go. Show. That's that. But yeah, Titan and Big B right next. Okay, Big B has just easily cruised past Titan. Titan is going slowly into the pits. The last time I saw a slow McLaren going into the pits was in 2018 with Alonso having a double puncture, dragging his McLaren into the pits somehow just to keep on going until the end. Will Titan do the same? We will have to see.
Titan, whether or not he pulls off an Alonso to finish, I think P5 or P6. I don't think that will be possible anymore. But more on that later, because Rossi is right on the tail of the Ferrari of Mist, just within 5 tenths now, and will be lesser by the time he exits this corner. Oh, never mind, it's increasing now. I'm not sure what happened there, because he's on very fresh soft and Mist is on fairly used medium, hards. And Rossi's also out of ERS, mind you, so he's just got to rely on that open slit on the back of his wing. It might propel him for a little ahead as Mist pushes him towards the inside of the corner. I think there has been a bit of argy-bargy over there, but both of them managed to keep it within the track. So yeah, both of them survived to go into this next straight, where Rossi again on the back of Mist has DRS once again. Only DRS though, because he's emptied his DRS tank, pulls to the inside of Mist and makes the move finally. Yeah, fairly clean this time around.
Fairly clean, but the battle's not over because Mist is still right there. Oh, locks up, made a bit of a mistake because of that. Has lost a lot of time, and if Rossi if he keeps it on the track, does not make any mistakes, he might be able to pull him here despite the lack of ERS. And of course, if these guys stop fighting, Satvik having a bit of a dodgy internet there, definitely put off the drivers ahead of him by, of course, they wouldn't know where he actually is at when he is lagging like that. And a great move by Satvik, because he almost gets it. Can he stick it around the outside? Satvik sticks the move. Great stuff by Satvik Reddy there, capitalizing on a very unexpected mistake from Vicious there, moving himself up into P3. Next up, Mist is on Satvik's list. Can he get past him? Because if Mist can be pushed right back into Vicious, I'm pretty sure can get past Mist and push him down into P4, and that might be your top 3 today, as we have only about 5 laps remaining in this race, and this battle for P1 or any of the podium positions is just getting heated up.
Indeed, Satvik not pulling back any punches. He doesn't seem to be giving a damn about anybody else ahead him or around him for that matter. He is just barging through the whole field and yeah, I mean, you could, on hindsight, you could say that it's quite aggressive, the kind of the way he's pulling off those moves, but he is pulling off those moves ultimately in places that you'd never expect, and especially heading out of that narrow castle section. It's not a place where you've I mean, I don't think I've ever seen an overtake being made over there, at least in the esports scene. Man, oh man, I've got to say, it was a very outrageous move. Very well executed indeed. Nevertheless.
Yeah, an amazing move by Satvik, and that is just his experience coming into play over here. I mean, of course, you can say that he's been about for 3-4 years, in IRC alone. He's been here since 2019, yeah, so around 4-5 years at this point, and yeah, he's been at it ever since then. Jose also on missed over here, getting past on the inside, also at a slightly unnatural place to be making an overtake just before the castle section, but he makes it stick. Nobody gets any damage, and so that is fine. But yeah, I mean, what Satvik pulled off there, coming back to that, was absolutely amazing. He's still catching up to Rossi. It's not over for him just yet. That tire difference really coming into play. So I think what Satvik did, we did think that it was a little bit too much. It was a little bit too risky, but it has worked out perfectly for him. 8-10 separating Satvik Reddy and Rossi as we head into the final 4 laps of this race. Satvik will have the DRS, and he will be tailing Rossi quite easily. I know for a fact he won't be able to make a move on this straight at least, because yes, the straight is long, but he is too far behind. But perhaps the next one, Satvik taking the fastest lap, 44.3 of this race. Rossi completely out of the DRS. Satvik has half of the battery pack still left on him. Just playing the patient game over here, just letting the corners go by. Gets the DRS now, is right behind Rossi, all pulling off to the inside, trying to find some gap to make a move. I don't think it is the best decision to make a move here. Pulls off to the outside. Rossi on the inside. Satvik sitting on the outside, and that's some contact between both of them, and that has caused Satvik definitely an end plate at least. We can't see it here, but I'm pretty sure there is some loss of downforce there with SSD screen being cut out completely by his mic. Noise suppression working well, but my god, that was unexpected. If Rossi can somehow stay within that 1 second, perhaps there's a stopping force for Satvik. If not, he is for sure having a very, very good chance, considering it doesn't make a mistake to win the race.
Oh, there we go. Just as I was about to say something, I see yellow flags in turn 1, and that is Big B again making a mistake and completely vaporizing his front wing. So yeah, I mean, at least he's not dead yet. So he's got that at least going for him. But coming back to the elephant in the room, Satvik Reddy. Oh man, that was a very sketchy place to. Big B is doing more of his antics. Yeah, so Satvik, that was pretty sketchy into which turn was it? Turn 1, 2, 3. It looked like that it was a slight bit of contact with that outside wall, but luckily for him, his right front end plate looks to be still intact. So I think he's still good to go. I mean, as you can see from the leaderboard itself, he's already pulled off 2.4 seconds to Rossi 45, who, mind you, has himself put on has put on an amazing performance to pick up 5 positions. So yeah, both of these drivers doing very well here. Satvik, although I think he got us into a misfortune or two earlier on in the race, and we saw him drop down to the back of the field almost, and then he had to fight his way back up, and all the way back up too. So, which is a pretty massive feat. So yeah, both of these drivers doing very well. The biggest loser here, I would say, is Vicious, with a mistake in coming out of the pits after his first pit stop. Just yeeted his car into the runoff area in turn 2 and costed him a lot of time. And yes, and then he had a very rapid Satvik Reddy approaching him as well. So didn't do him any favors whatsoever. And drop from P1 to P3. Joe's hero, shout out to this guy, 16 positions gained. So I mean, yeah, it's pretty much P20 to P4. Brilliant drive from him as well.
Yeah, great drive from Jose. Great recovery from both Jose and Satvik, to be fair. Big B in the pits, changing out to the softs. I think he's going to try and go for the fastest lap. Also changing out his wing. So yeah, I think he's going to try and attempt the fastest lap. Maybe he'll get it, maybe he won't. We don't know. We'll have to keep seeing as to how that plays out. But yeah, Satvik, I mean, every race weekend since he has been here since the Regents Cup, and maybe even before that when he was a reserve in season. Ooh, okay, getting a bit loose there, Rossi. But yeah, from seasons 10 when he was a reserve, and then in the Regents Cup, and then even in the Challenger Series. Okay, that's a bit of a damaged front wing. A few bits over there on the side that we did see flying off. Not sure if it was from Rossi or Vicious, but yeah, he has improved quite a lot. And finally, he's come out over here despite a very chaotic race with a lot going on in the beginning, with multiple safety cars, a lot of people crashing. And even on one of the safety cars, we recreated Portimao 2020, and just on the restart itself, we didn't even restart, as a matter of fact, and these guys crashed out, and because of that, immediately the safety car was called out. I think if we did have red flags enabled, thank God we don't have those enabled, but if we did have those enabled, yeah, there would have been a red flag for sure.
Yeah, as if the game's default features weren't bugged enough, they had to introduce a new feature as a selling point and then not bug that out right in the beginning itself. And mind you guys, they still haven't fixed it till this date. So GG's Cody's, GG's EA.
Can't wait until F1 24. Even that will come out, they'll be like, oh yeah, new engine, game's gonna be so much better. Comes out, instantly trash.
Yeah, no, I'm not too eager to buy that game anyway. It's not like I bought this game either for full price. Thanks to Sai Tarun, I managed to get it into my, I managed to library share it from him. So to get a taste of how buggy the game is, but it wasn't as bad as F1 22. F1 22 was a nightmare just to turn on and play. It would be a miracle if we had an entire race without the lobby breaking. And just to take a break from this conversation as we are on the final lap now. 4 seconds already that Satvik has pulled on Rossi in a matter of, I guess, three laps. So he's pulling off a second lap from Rossi, and it's just increasing more and more as they're going through the corners. So once again, brilliant drive from Satvik.
Certainly, very, very good stuff from Satvik. I think by the end of this lap, the gap will be around 5 seconds at least. So, great stuff from Satvik.
Yes, and we probably might get the first lapped car, considering that every other car below P10. Okay, actually, I just want to point this out also, that half the field has crashed out by themselves, by either skill issue or by the game issue, code issue.
Yeah.
Cody's issue. Oh, okay. Cody's issue. And there we go. Joe's hero is now within a second to Vicious. He doesn't have any ERS left in his tank, and Vicious on the other hand has half a tank of ERS left. So should be safe to go, provided he doesn't make. Okay, never mind. He's now pulled down the gap to within half a second. Vicious still just a second below Frosty. Just needs to dish out. Spend a little more of that ERS stack. It might be a photo finish to the end as Satvik Reddy comes across the line to win the Azerbaijan Grand Prix of Tier 2. More on that later. I don't think he's got enough. He's just way too far. P2 is taken by Rossi and P3 by Vicious. Joe's hero once again putting out a mighty drive, finishes in P4 after gaining 16 positions. P5 from Mist, in spite of all the mistakes that he made. P6 from Nirvana, in spite of all the incidents that he had encountered. P7 and P8, the pretend politicians or celebrities. I mean, Aishwarya is not a. I just realized. Yeah.
Doppelgangers.
No, can't find the right word for it. So the Haas duo, we'll just keep it simple. The Haas duo should finish in P7 and P8, provided Aishwarya Raikkonen doesn't make a mistake and bins it into the chicane. on the outside. Commentator's curse is not gonna work today, thank goodness. So P8 will go to Aishwarya Raikkonen, followed by Titan 23 in P9. Still sporting his initials from the Regions Cup, carrying that central flag proudly out there. Will finish in P9. Big B, in spite of pitting for those fresh softs, doesn't look like he's going to take the fastest lap. How close is he though? He's done a 46, which is miles off, and I don't think he's got any ERS. He's drained it out completely even before the DRS zone itself. But anyway, at least he's managed to finish the race, so kudos to him. As the last car crosses the line to end a very tiring, exhausting
I think he did get the pass.
Okay, we can check it out.
Yeah, we'll check in just a second.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. And Joe's Hero rightfully gets the driver of the day for this race. Ooh, yeah, exhausting race indeed.
Exhausting, yeah. I mean, exhausting mentally more than physically, because whatever happened should not have happened, all those glitches, and yeah, the Big B did not get the fastest lap at the end of it. Satvik Reddy did. Satvik Reddy has also won the race, followed by Rossi and Vicious in P3. Jose Hero in P4. Amazing comeback for him. Let's just hope that he does not get any such bans, because after a quali ban, it's a race ban. So hopefully no more penalty points for him. Bist in P5, Nirvana P6, Vettel Bihari Vajpayee and Aishwarya Raikkonen in P7, P8, Titan in P9, Big B last of the finishers in P10. ABD and ABD in P11, Deadshot P12, Vipul P13, Mr. Singh P14, and Wizard of Oz P15, BK19 P16, E-Dog P17, Path P18, Fury P19, and Poke Player retired on the first lap of the race.
Yeah, Poke Player apparently he had some desync issue or something. Not really sure. I remember him saying something in the Tier 2 chat. We'll have to check on that later. I think it was almost a retirement on track, but we're gonna have to verify it. Okay, there we go. GG Codis, my the menu stuck in race director. Oh my god, it never seems to cease.
Yeah, I guess we can move on to the podium interviews. We'll pull the drivers in. Yeah, I mean, just very frustrating, very frustrating for everyone. And okay. Yeah, so we're pulling the drivers in. Just give us a minute here. But yeah, it was an annoying bit of a race. That's for sure. Okay,
Yes.
I think
As far as
Satvik is also in, so I guess we can get started with the interviews.
yep, if you don't mind, I'd like to start off the
Go for it.
first the interview for the first interview for P3 finisher of the day, Wishes. I've got to say, man, I was considering bumping you up to Tier 1, at least put it out to the coordinators, because that gap is way too much between you and the rest of the drivers. 1 second in quali, oh my god. What was that? Where did that come from?
So the thing, first of all, thank you guys for hosting, and thank you guys for bearing with us and the lobby, both of you, Simply and SHA. And then I'll say that I have practiced a lot in time trial, so my 1 lap pace is quite good, I'd say. And the first banker lap which I did, it was very safe, as the track was not too optimum. It was the braking points were too far away, like too early than what I was supposed to do. So as the track got rubbered in, I got the confidence and I just went all out for the last lap and got that P1.
That was insane, and that was a massive, mighty quali lap. It was definitely, you could top 5 in Tier 1 as well. So, brilliant lap there. But unfortunate for you in the race itself, and in your second stint, your medium stint. Just as I was on board another driver, and then I saw yellow flags into turn 2. And then I saw an Alpha Tauri dot, and then I saw that it was you. So was quite shocked to see you, who had done your race so flawlessly right from the quali itself. Suddenly made a mistake over there. So what happened there?
So what happened was, I was first of all very gutted to see that the guy behind me had already pitted for the hards and he didn't have to pit again. So that took me by a shock that the P2 has already pitted and I have to pit and I'll be a lap behind, like a pit stop distance behind. And after coming from the pits, I missed my braking point by a mile and the tires were cold, so it didn't help either. And I just went into the runoff area. And reset to track is not allowed, as you know, and turning the car was a hassle in itself. So that took me a lot of time, and I guess that is where I lost the race.
Yeah, maybe it's a reminder for you to turn off your traction control because otherwise you could have just done a 360 and come back on track. But it's all right. You at least managed to salvage your race from that little mishap over there.
Yep, and the strategy was also, I guess, not ideal today, which I chose the medium and hard. The hards and the mediums should have gone the other way around. And by the way, my traction control is off, but 360 is not as easy as it seems. I was too scared about damaging my front wing and ending my race. So I thought that I'll take it slowly and I'll try to salvage as much as I can.
Makes sense. Yeah. It is. It also pays to take the safer route. But either way, congratulations on your P3. Let's hope that for the next round, you don't have any mishaps and you keep the same pace and manage to take a win.
Yep, I'll try my best. And thank you guys. And congrats Satvik and Rossi on the podium and Satvik on the win. GG's.
Yeah. Moving on to our P2 finisher of the day, Rossi Nante, aka Rossi 45. Congratulations to start off with. Just talk us through your race, man. I also saw notice that you were dumping your ERS a lot and trying to get those moves made very early on itself.
Yeah. So the thing is, I was on the race, so that completely ruined all my plans and everything. So the plan was, I knew my setup is pretty rough on my rear tires. So I knew I'll have to pit for softs in the end. So the plan was just to get as many overtakes initially itself, because my pace towards the end I knew to be very weak, as it was. I almost spun on the last lap, losing this thing P2 as well. But yeah, so that was the main idea. Just get the overtakes done early.
All right. That might have been pretty scary for you to see Satvik ready in your mirrors, and probably because you'd not seen him right from the starting of the race itself, because I think he got caught up in some incident. I think you'd even gotten wishes in the first in one of the straights, if I'm not wrong. You were on soft tires, whereas wishes was on medium tires. So. Yeah, the race win might have been.
It could have been possible, but maybe I was lacking a bit more pace. But yeah, Satvik was absolutely quick. I don't think I could have overtaken him.
Indeed, but nevertheless, it was a brilliant drive. I think you made 5 positions, start P7 and
P7,
finished P2.
I was spun on the 3rd lap, so I was basically 13th or something then.
All right. Yeah, but still, either way, it's a brilliant drive from you, Rossi. So congratulations on your P2.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, Simply, why don't you take over the interview for the winner of this race?
I'd love to interview Koushik. Satvik, Koushik, what do we call you, man? Amazing performances. I mean, in Australia, great stuff. Not finishing in the worst of the positions, I think P4 or P5. And then just overall, you've been improving so much. And finally, you came over here, took a very risky strategy by pitting towards the end, despite already having been done, 2 stops already. And then you went on to the softs, and it completely worked out for you. Just talk us through all of that. How did you pull all of that off?
Quite honestly, it was a rough race actually. I had a lot of power cuts because I only got a chance to do 1 lap of qualifying. So it pulled off like P3, I guess. Then after, I guess I lost 2-3 positions in the lap 1 because of the virtual safety car. I had to give positions because I had to avoid the penalty. So after that, I lost my wing, and there was a sudden safety car all of a sudden, and all the cars stopped ahead of me. So I lost my wing, so I had to pit, and I was P18 or P17, I don't know, by the mid of the race. So yeah, then I lost the wing when I was on the arts. So I was just continuing, and I was just trying to survive and limp the car as it is. And somehow EP joined me as a race engineer. Unfortunately, he didn't finish the race, so he was guiding me what to do, what was going with the race. So fortunately, we had the gap with the softs, so we took the call at the very last minute, me and EP. So EP actually helped me out with the call. So the last minute we took the call. We thought we might end up P3 or P2, just bring as many points as possible. So yeah, it was very hard to limit the worn arts. So I had to pit anyway because I had to change the wing. So anyway, I lost the wing with Vicious and also the Williams. So I was just limping. And I was just surviving, and I was trying to be quick at the same time with the. Second part of the race, I was not having any wings, so I was just in the car. Yeah, it was very hectic actually. All the passes. So I did like so many overtakes on the track. So yeah.
So you can essentially say that the way to survive Baku would be to just keep a patient mind, keep a calm mind, and just live through it instead of giving up.
Yes. EP was on the Discord. And he was just guiding me through what to do, what all to do. So we just limped the car the last few laps. So we were just driving as slow as possible, just maintaining the gap. So yeah, that's how it worked out.
Maintaining the gap is an understatement, man. I mean, you pulled a 5-second gap towards the end after getting past Rossi. So
Yeah.
maintaining a gap is a bit of an understatement, in my opinion. But yeah, if my calculations are correct, I believe you are leading the championship. So congrats on that. Hopefully, you can keep this chain of good luck in a calm mind throughout the rest of the season. And who knows, maybe you will have a very good chance at winning the WDC. And of course, great bag of points for your team as well with the fastest lap. So
Yeah. Yeah.
great
Yeah.
stuff by you guys. And hopefully, EP can also finish the race and join you
Yes.
next
Next
time on
race.
the podium. Yeah.
Yeah. He's doing really good. So he will be there. He will be there.
Absolutely. And yeah, that is it for the end of the podium interviews as well as for this race. Great stuff that we have seen despite the difficulties we faced. And as Satvik Reddy just said, keep a calm mind and you'll make through all of your hardships. Great stuff by these guys. And yeah, the racing action is not over just yet. We have Tier 1, the fastest drivers in India, coming up right after this at 8 p.m. IST on the same game, on the same track. Great chances of rain on Baku. Who knows, we could have a rainy race coming up for the Tier 1 boys. Unfortunately, we'll have to finish Tier 2 off here. Fortunately, it's not over. We'll see you guys very, very shortly. So just make sure that you are subscribed, you have your notifications turned on. Do join our server if you do want to get involved in these races or want to contribute in any other way. Or of course, if you are just a general racing boat enthusiast, then of course you can join that as well. Thank you so much for watching this afternoon. Hopefully you had a great lunch, and we'll see you guys in the evening with your dinner. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.